Hello everyone, I am Sarah of Smart Reiki and Tarot. Welcome to my channel, Sarah's Prismatic Musings. This week I will be doing a book review on Find Your Unicorn Space by Eve Rodsky. Now, I saw this book back in 2021 at the Unity of Phoenix bookstore, and I love the cover, and of course I love the title, Find Your Unicorn Space. I knew I wanted to read it, and when I saw it at the library, I was like, yes, awesome. I don't have to purchase this book. I can just pick it up at the library. So I got this book from the library back in December before I said, in 2023, I will not be checking out any books. Out of the 6 library books that I got, I read 3, and 3 I will be just returning without reading. I decided that, I read like either the first few pages or that it's just not worth my time. But I did make it through this book, even though about halfway through I was going to DNF it. Just because the author states that this is an inclusive book. It's not just for working moms with husbands, that it's for everyone, single moms, gay couples, single people, no children. It's really not. It's really focused very heavily on women with a husband and children. And I understand, because for women who have a husband, they have that support that they can ask their husband to step up and help them out around the house and with childcare, that it really shouldn't all land on the woman. So this author, she's an activist for that. And her first book is called Fair Play, and it's all about that. So if you're interested in that, if you're a working mom with a husband, I would recommend reading her book, Fair Play, and this book, because this book is really about how important creativity is in your life. How creativity will help you feel like a authentic person and a fully formed human, where if you just focus on your career and your family, sometimes you can get lost. But how creativity can really help you find yourself and your true philosophy for life and your legacy. So I really like that. Now, there is some stuff for single people who are working, and how to set boundaries and how to ask for some time off or to leave on time or early, which that would have been helpful for me. I never really left on time or early when I was working. I was, a single woman without a husband or children, so I was expected to help the last few remaining customers, or finish up a project or finish up however late that was. I was always expected to stay, where people with husbands or children could say, hey, my husband's waiting for me, I need to go home, or I need to go get my children from daycare, which that's fine. I understand that being a working parent is difficult. It's hard, especially if you don't have a supportive husband. Now, this book will really help you to ask your husband to step up to the plate and help be a supportive husband. So I think that's really important. She does interview a gay couple in here, and so there are men included, but it is really focused on women, since women usually are, working, raising family, and are expected by society to be the main caregiver. And so the emotional tax on that is a lot higher for women. Men don't seem to have any problem having time for themselves to do their hobbies. And women are, socialized to be people pleasers and to put everyone first. And then there's no time for them to relax or have any free time for themselves to do things that they love. I know that I'm more like Eve in the sense that I am privileged. The fact that I have a husband who is very supportive of me living a creative life. He lives a creative life. And I'm able to be creative all the time now. But if I do decide to go back to work, this will help me hopefully be able to set boundaries with my employer, which I've never been good at, because I am such a people pleaser, and I tend to put my job first above all else. And that can lead to burnout, which it did for me. But there's, some interesting, she talks to some experts about creativity and how to tap into your creativity and how it's really important to have a schedule for your creativity, which is really what I've noticed as well. And so the law of attraction planner, like this planner didn't work for me when I was working 2 jobs and a single person, because this was pretty much, I was at work all day, and so I'm not going to put what I did at work. I mean, it's just, but now that I split up my day, I'm either researching for a YouTube video, or I'm reading, or I'm giving tarot readings, or I'm meditating, or what have you. Then I can keep track of my time, and I can also keep track of how much time I'm wasting. So this law of attraction planner for creative types is like really, really, really helpful if you run a small business, if you're a business owner, if you're trying to be creative. This really helps. So find your unicorn space. I did finish it. I did skip a full chapter. I skipped enlist your partner, use the life-changing magic of unwavering support. I already have that for my partner. Again, like I said, I know that I'm privileged, that I do have that my husband is very, very supportive because he's a creative person as well. He carves out 2 hours a day that he can paint. And then he has started drawing and painting just for fun for himself to keep that creativity going. He has his paintings that he's doing to sell, and then he still has time to still do art for himself. So this is set up into 3 different parts. Part 1 is time for a reset. And so chapter 1 is unleash your unicorn. Chapter 2, a new creative framework, why creativity is essential in difficult times and beyond. Chapter 3, identify yourself, how to rethink success and redefine what matters to you. Then we have part 2, the rules of permission. Rule number 1, permission to be unavailable. So that's really the chapter about boundaries, which I did find that very helpful. Chapter 5, permission to burn your guilt and shame, how to carve out free headspace for creativity. Chapter 6, rule number 3, permission to use your voice, how to ask for the creative time you require. Part 3, cultivate the 3 C's of creativity, which is curiosity, connection, and completion. And so it's really about how complete is better than perfect, and how a lot of times with creativity, especially if you're going to try to present it to the world, people get caught up in perfection when you have to just say, you know what, it's done. It's done. This is as good as it's going to get. It's time to be released. There's a lot of name dropping in here, and there's a lot of plugging these people's businesses and creative outlets, which that's fine. That's cool. I'm sure she had a lot of fun doing the interviews for the book. Like I said, she interviewed 1 gay couple, 2 men, and who adopted a child. But I wanted to hear more about them, and I wanted to hear more about how can single moms do this, especially if they don't have their partner in the picture, or a partner in the picture, and it's literally just them. How are they going to carve out, creative space if they have a baby or toddlers? Now, older children, they should be able to. I do like that it talks about legacy. When you're being creative, think about what you want your legacy to be. There's questions in here and things to ask yourself, so you can find out what matters to you and how do you want your creativity to go out in the world, and that we really shouldn't just put ourselves in such little boxes of, well, I'm a mother, or I'm a wife, or I'm a stay-at-home mom, or I do this. That we should have a lot of, slashes. I'm a wife, I'm a mother, I'm a writer, I'm a, an attorney. Like this woman, she's a lawyer turned writer and activist for women to have a voice and carve out the time that they need. She's very lucky that she has a supportive husband who will take her voice and allow her to write, which that's amazing. Unfortunately, there are some men who, even if you set those boundaries and you ask for time, they may not give it to you, unfortunately. but she's stating that you have to at least ask, because if you don't ask, it builds up resentment. So there's some good tips on communication in here and how to communicate with your partner, how to ask for what you want, what you need, and give your whys, and also follow through. She talks about, how partners will be supportive if you do it, but if you ask for time and then you're not doing your creative work, or you're not using it for your creativity, then that may cause resentment as well. So like the gay couple, this one guy, he has a hot rod or some kind of car in the garage, but he never works on it. He never does anything with it, and his partner just is like, frustrated because he supported him and supported him and supported him, and then he's still not doing it. So it's, a lot of times we will say, oh, we can't do it, or we blame our partner, or we blame our job, or we blame, we have excuses when really it's fear standing in our way. So it's good. It's like, just do it. There's some really great examples. There's this woman who became a race car driver, like at 55, and she travels all around. So there's some really great stories in here. I just felt like it was too heavy on the working mom aspect. That was the main focus. And I also found it interesting that Eve Rodsky thinks that people with less privilege are more apt to be creative or have time for creativity, which I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure. Because if you are working class, you're working all the time. Literally, you're working 2-3 jobs. And then if you have children, that's a full-time job. So when do you have time to be creative? So I kind of wanted her to talk about that more, and why she felt that and why she made that statement. Or maybe my head just turned it out because I'm like, bullshit. Maybe that's just my bias. But I did rate it a 2.5 star. There are some good, like I said, information. You can skip the chapters that don't pertain to you, like I did. It's a short little book. It's like just shy of 300 pages. So it's a quick read. Yeah, it's 297 pages. And then there's acknowledgments and a bibliography and stuff. I just don't like name dropping and the pushing of these other creative people. But I get it. It's for inspiration. And I found, like I said, the race car driver at 55. I found that inspirational. I thought that was really cool. So if you're looking for a book about creativity and you're a working mom, maybe this book will be for you, to help you set those boundaries and ask for what you need. It's really important to help with feeling like a self-actualized person, feeling like a whole, complete person, and not feeling like your soul has been sucked out of you because you've given everything you have to your job, your career, your family, and then what's left for you. And we all need to have that passion of what we love, and to feel like we're contributing something to the world that is unique to us, where we're not just being told like, okay, well, you're doing this for your work. Now, some people are able to be creative within their work. She talks about a doctor in here who feels that his creativity, he is able to express that as a doctor. So that's wonderful that some people can find that creativity within their job, and then other people have to find their creativity outside. So there's some good things, but if you're a single mom or you are a single person, there's really not much in here for you. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.